Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome back to another episode of Age of Wonders 3. I apologise if there's any background noise in this video picked up on the microphone. There is a fan in the corner of the room, it is very warm here in Britain, and the windows are closed so you don't have to listen to dogs barking, motorcycles and all the various noise from the riffraff out in the street below. Should be covered nicely by this game's random volume spiking soundtrack. Anyway, let's get back right on in there. I know at the end of the last video we found our third and final opponent, who is a dreadnought up in this north and west corner of the map. We have a few units around now. We were going to bring this caravan down here and settle, which we probably still will do. We're going to leave that where it is for now. We'll move on to the next turn and see what happens. Well, that's very unfortunate. We are being attacked by some independents. I don't know where they come... Oh, I do know where they come from. That is the group that we have to beat for that that quest that we have. I'm going to auto-combat that because I'm going to die anyway. I knew that was going to happen, so why even bother doing anything different? I am going to, however, move this caravan out of the way. I'm going to separate the caravan from the archer. I'm going to move the caravan down here and tell the caravan to found a city, and that's exactly where I'm going to put it. And then let's select a skill to research first. People keep telling me that I'm not using the ability to mind control animals enough in this Let's Play, so I'll try and do that a little bit more if I can. Research Beast Mastery. Do I even have it? Doesn't look like it. Let's take that anyway. Let's take Beast Mastery now. I can upgrade my hero, which I probably should do, although it's in the wrong place really for that fight. What can we give you? Anything interesting? Sustainable Warfare would be good. All units in the hero's army gain the volunteer ability. They require 50% less gold upkeep. We're not really struggling for gold, so I don't really think that we necessarily need to have that. Nature resistance. One with the trees. Concealment in forest. Yeah, let's go for that. Let's use our druidic things to our best of ability. What do we need here? Not an awful lot, really. We'll get the observatory for the research, and then we'll just go into merchandise. There's so many cities now that have finished doing stuff. You just carry on for actually, you can build a stone wall, and we'll go storehouse, and then we'll go back on to merchandise. Right, now, before I engage with this guy, can I add any extra units to this army and make it a little bit bigger? Can I... Well, I could summon a Horned God, not on this turn, sadly. I could bring in a Hellhound or an Eldritch Animal. Let's bring in an Eldritch Animal, and we will drop it right here. We got ourselves a Gold Wyvern, which is great. So what we can do now is we can... Oh, this thing's now independent. That's very interesting. Very likely victory. Auto combat. And we killed it, but it didn't join us. Okay, well at least it's out of the way. So what we'll now do is we'll attack with this unit. And we actually have a probable victory. We'll definitely manual combat this one. Because if I don't, things will go horribly wrong. Now we do have Unicorn here, which is clearly an animal. We've also got that massive spider that we got a few turns ago. Luckily, these fairies don't do an awful lot of damage. It's still three damage in total per hit, because you're getting frost damage, fire damage, and nature damage, or electricity damage. So, can we flip that unicorn over onto our side? Let's have a look and see if it's possible. Okay, nothing else to worry about there. Unicorn. You should count as an animal, do you not? Counts as fae, supernatural beings. Doesn't count as an animal then. Okay, fine, so we can't use it on that. Would have been nice if we could have. Do we even have the ability to do that? No, I don't think we do. We don't have an awful lot of casting potential left either, given the fact that we actually used our spell to summon another creature. So I don't think we're actually going to cast anything right here. We're just going to do our best to wipe out some of these creatures. We would get some retaliation from that unicorn. Right, let's attack the nymphs with the golden wyvern. We'll do relatively decent damage to them. We'll take some retaliation, but not as much. Really? Range penalty from there? Okay. Triple shot. Didn't do as much damage as I like, but it did reduce them down quite nicely. Okay, what else have we got? Got archers over here. Not really sure you can get into much of a position to do anything, so I'm going to bring you forward. And we've still got a range penalty here, but we'll take it anyway. Now, I'm actually glad I did that because they were out of range, which means they took a 50% penalty. I could have moved them closer and not had the 50% penalty. It would have worked out the same, because one shot at 100% is the same as two shots at 50%, but because I got two shots, I was twice as likely to actually inflict the bleeding wounds. Now, the first shot landed and they resisted. The second shot landed and they actually got the bleeding wounds. So, it was actually better to have the two shots at 50% than the one shot at 100% because it meant we got more chance of getting that debuff on there. Okay, these guys have frost protection, which is kind of annoying. This is kind of a throwaway unit though, so I will just attack with them. They are quite weak, so that's not too much of a problem. This spider, on the other hand, is quite a monster, so let's just go in with that and splat, they're dead. You guys are pretty terrible, but we'll move you forwards anyway. You've got really slow movement. You do have a crossbow, I suppose, but even then you've got a range penalty, so that's not all that useful. Can we do anything with the priests? Probably not. But let's have a shot anyway. There we go. Didn't have to worry about the bleeding after all that anyway, because we just wiped the unit out. Can we kill you with a single hit? We probably can, because you're just scary enough to do that, really. Although, what are you? You are a Theocrat, so maybe you had a spell we could have used, but... Oh, well, we'll end the turn. I don't think we're in any serious trouble here. Although a unicorn does quite a bit of damage to archers, but never mind. They weren't the best archers. At least now we can get some hunters in there and make it a decent army. Okay, so let us go and move you closer, and we'll deal with you because that should be the kill one way or another. Okay, nymphs are dead. You're going to turn around and finish off that unicorn. Should be nice and easy. Wasn't flanking, sadly, but we did get it, so that's not too bad. Leaves them with one unit left. Nobody is in range here, sadly. So let's move up with the priests. Can't be affected by our abilities, so I am just going to... Do I spirit ray them? They have 100% spirit protection. So I'm just going to go up and melee them to death. Wasn't quite enough to finish them off. Move the spider up. Spider can web, though. Ah, but you need to be an adjacent target, which isn't fantastic. You have a dispel. Guess we could go over there and heal you. Those things might then attack the priests, which is a possibility, but... We'll see what happens. I'm just going to bring a lot of units up here because it'll just give them a bit of a distraction. Make it harder for them to decide what they want to go against. You guys can just stay there because you're absolutely pointless. Well, yeah, it's going for the priests. I figured they would. Who do we want to get the kill? Let's give the kill to the spider because why not? Let's get that unit a promotion if we can. Not quite enough XP there to do it, but that's them wiped out, which I think is a quest completed. Which is indeed. So now they actually join our side. And we also get an undead caster as well. And a cudgel of crippling disease. An epic weapon inflicting bleeding... inflict enfeebling fever. Melee and ranged attacks can inflict enfeebling fever. Units suffering from enfeebling fever have -3 armor. This effect lasts for 2 turns. And +2 blight melee strength. That's actually quite nice. Okay, so we've done that. We'll probably just leave that caster there anyway, just so that he can deal with any attacks on this city. You are going to go over to... Who uses melee the most? It's probably going to be you, to be honest. Actually, I might bring this guy down. Because that army did take a bit of a hit down there. Not a massive one. Okay, and you get an upgrade as well, which is really nice. Blessing of Health, we could give you a better heal. We could give you Absorb Pain. The unit links itself to a friendly target so that damage dealt is dealt to the hero unit instead. Control Undead. Not really that much of a problem. All units in the hero's army gain 200 happiness. Now that could be really useful, especially given the fact that we're going to have an undead unit in this army shortly. And well, let's go for melee strength because we have been using you with melee. What I'd like to do, what's the worst unit in here? You guys by a long shot. You move over into that stack, and then that guy can move over into there. Now he's really unhappy, but he does get the extra high morale. Yeah, his morale's still very low, but floating heads. Oh, very nice. Awesome. What can these guys do? They can heal undead. They can throw curses. Attempts to curse the target enemy unit. Cursed units suffer -2 armor and -2 resistance until the end of combat. Very nice. Dedicated to evil, though. Can't regenerate. Movement upgrade. We shall see. We'll see how useful they become. Now, I don't really want to attack this guy because it seems a little bit stupid. Those ancient ruins have been explored. We're going to... What's that? Have I got another quest up here to deal with something? Looks like I may well have. What have we got here? A gold mine. Yeah, these are friendlies and they want us to deal with that. That's quite nasty. There's a tier 2 wraith. There's a spider and a kobold there, no problems. And a watcher tier 3. We should be able to deal with that. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. You were going to head out to the north and see what you could discover up here. Obviously, we're finding more of this guy's borders. Could go around and start clearing these independents, but at the end of the day, they're not my problem. Not yet, anyway. And what are you? You are our Gryphon Rider. Where were you heading? Were you actually heading out over to one of our armies? Got a feeling you probably were. Yeah, you're heading over here. So let's carry on with that move. And I think you were doing the same thing, weren't you? Something similar. Yeah, you were heading on over to these haste berries because that'll reset all of your movement for the turn. And then you're going to head on over to probably these haste berries. Dragon, you've still not quite healed up yet. And I'd very much like it if you did. And you're really just scouting this area, edge of the map now to see what you can see. Okay, these guys are friendlies. Don't have a quest for us yet. So, that's another turn done. Now, the first thing I'd like to do, really, because I haven't done one of these yet, is summon one of these horned gods. It does take 2 turns, because we don't have that much casting ability, so we're definitely going to do that. We've now researched Beast Mastery. So, Animistic Knowledge. Develop the ability to communicate with the unseen spirits inhabiting the wonders of the world. Treasure sites within the Empire's domain generate an additional 5 research income. That sounds very, very useful. We actually speed up our tech tree, so we'll definitely be doing that. You're a very small army. And I've actually got a feeling that you're the army that I was trying to reinforce with these units that are all moving over. You're in my territory, which is not really appreciated. Pharaon the Quick. Are you actually the leader? No. Wow, Goblin Musketeers. Spy drones. It's a pretty weak army. If I did choose to go to war with them at this point, it wouldn't really be in their best interests. Okay. Can't produce anything over here, really. Sigil of Awakening. The dwelling generates an additional 10 mana and allows us to build a barrow. Graveyard lets us produce Revenant Infantry. The Charnel House, Revenant Archers. The Obelisk. Non-undead units in the domain of this dwelling are cursed. Very nice. I'm just going to build all the stuff here. And do you know why? Because I've never actually had an undead city before in any of my games. So I think that'll be quite an interesting thing to do and see how it works. Shooting grounds and war hall, just in case we need to build any units here. We're not going to bother with a harbour because I don't think... Actually, there could be a fair bit of water up there. We probably will build a harbour just so we can have a look and see what's around there. Have a bit of a scout. Haven't had the opportunity to show you guys water combat yet. It's not particularly brilliant, but it would be nice if I could show you, so we'll consider doing that. I think everything else up here is clear. There is something up there. We should probably go up there and take that, actually. Question remains, though, how safe is this city going to be? Safe enough, I think, if we leave you in there. So you're going to sit here and guard the city. You are going to trudge north, and we'll see if we can get up there and clear that top corner. You are going to continue to scout around and see what we can find up here. We'll just follow the road for the time being. Oh, we found a ziggurat. A mythical ziggurat. Let's go for it. What have we got in this army? I can't remember, actually. We're a little bit short on ranged. We do have boar riders. This could either be a very... Oh, dear. Probable defeat. Tier 4 monsters times 2. Draconian berserker. A flamer. A draconian elder. Yeah. You know what? We're not going to engage there. I'd love to, but my army's just going to get completely wiped if I try and do that. We will certainly consider moving a better army up there to deal with the problem, though. Definitely something we're going to do. Right, you're going to wait there for now. You guys are just going to sit tight. You will continue to move over. We're going to try and get this guy over to that smaller army stack. Now, what's there? Nothing. Let's go and deal with you. Very likely victory. They're the sort I like. I was half expecting them to run away. But I won't end this video on an auto combat. We'll go in for a manual fight. And we might see if we can take the city as well. So this watch is going to be the biggest problem. Wow, 1 damage. Wraith's also quite annoying because they can move through stuff. These spiders aren't going to be a problem. And this is actually my main army with my leader, and we do have the ability to control animal. Now, these spiders should count as animal. No, they count as monster. Does anything in this game actually count as an animal? Certainly not in this fight. So, Plan B. Storm Sisters, range penalty, move forward 1, do stuff. You did get a promotion, but you didn't get the kill. Move to there, finish them off. I know the Watcher's the bigger threat, but it doesn't do all that much damage, so it's not that much of a problem at the moment. Line of sight penalty. Let's move you over here. No line of sight penalty. 3 shots. Needed all 3 as well, so it's a good job I did that. And we get a promotion. Hunters. Well, we're going to get some penalties wherever we go, so we might as well go behind here, which will give us 2 shots. It resisted the bleeding wounds on both attempts, which is a bit of a pain. We will give the Guardian Flame to our hero. And on this instance, our hero is going to... What have you got resistances to? Your eye sticking out, that's quite freaky. Let's have a look. You've got 60% spiritual protection, but you're not really weak to anything. So it doesn't matter what I hit him with as long as it's not spiritual. So we will go for our shock bolts. We get a range penalty, so let's move forward 1. Still get a range penalty, but remember 3 shots at 50% is better than 2... no, it'd be 2 shots at 100%, wouldn't it? Yeah, so let's move forwards a bit more. Have a double shot. We have managed to put bleeding onto it as well, which is good. Might get a bit of trouble from those wraiths, but we have got our Guardian Flame. No, you're going straight for my... Oh no, I thought he was going for the Storm Sisters. Actually going for my archers. Or my hunters. You're going to finish them off, aren't you? No, wow. Surprising. I'm actually amazed. Okay, let me try this. Let's try and get you finished off if we can. That's it, you went down nice and easily. Now let's do as much damage to you as we can. We've got a line of sight penalty here. Yeah, I'm getting very worried about these archers. Storm Sisters, can you do anything? Let's have the triple shot here. That was a flanking shot. And they're down. Brilliant. We actually managed to save the unit. I'm quite happy about that. So that is done. And it actually was a quest. So brilliant. Now we get that village there. We get ourselves a little goblin marauder. Not too sure I want the goblin marauder, but fine. So you're going to heal up for a little bit because you've taken a fair bit of damage. And you're going to carry on down to wherever it was you were heading. Yeah, so I think it's these guys with that second hero that's going to go down and merge up with this army here. It will be a 2-hero army, but it will be useful because we can flank around the back and get behind our opponent's front lines, which could be useful because we do have the ability to summon units, so we could just keep summoning units on to the heroes. We could split them off and make a second army. And then in a couple of turns we'll have the Horned God, which is pretty much the top-end best unit that you can actually get for the Archdruid, which will be quite nice. We've pretty much done everything that we need to do over on this side of the map. There's one little city just down here in this corner, which I'll probably try and nab with my army that's on this side. There's a little ruins there that we'll try and sort out, and I think there's another one there. There's a few things around that we can nab, but they're not necessarily all that important to us. The main thing we just want to do now is just keep building our armies and increasing the size of our forces. I would, however, like to get myself that ziggurat that I passed a little bit earlier. It was up over in this direction somewhere, wasn't it? But, you know, it is going to be a little bit tricky to take because it... we just didn't have an army strong enough to deal with it. I can't even find it now. I've completely lost it on the map. I know it was along the road somewhere. I will find it again at the point where I need to. I'll have a look around and find it. Wasn't there, was it? Somewhere around here. Now I've completely lost it. Okay, I'm going to have to sort this out for myself. So I'll click on the overview panel. I'm going to click on my armies panel. Now it's the army leaded by you. You are there. I could have sworn it was you that... Yeah, you're on top of it, aren't you? That's why I couldn't see it on the map, because you were standing on it. So yeah, I don't think we're going to be doing that just yet. Not too sure how far we are to finishing our research tree at this point. I know that in my other game that I played with the sorcerer, that by the time I'd wiped out 2 of my opponents, that I had already researched everything in the book. That was probably around about turn 100. So we may well start getting some of these things. As you can see, most of them now literally are only going to take 1 turn to research. We do have quite a lot of research coming in. That might be a nice spell to have, just for the fun of it. Summons a random wild beast at the start of every combat round to assist a caster in fight for 7 turns. So that's essentially 7 free units for whatever it costs to cast the spell, which would be quite nice. But that's something we're going to have to look at in another video. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you're still enjoying the series, and I'll see you next time. Until then, goodbye for now.